Thank you so much for staying tuned to TMI. Now for the discussion segment. Over the week, talking about last week, there was a clarion call by PFN. If you don't know what it means, just Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Edo State branch or chapter. They came together urging the government to reopen churches as long as the churches are able to follow the rules and regulations laid down in the fight against coronavirus. And that is beginning to make persons react to that, some for it, some against it, some are just so indifferent about that. Then after that, we take a look at also the effectiveness of our interstate lockdown. Is it really efficient? Is it really effective? They're following the rules and regulations governing what is on the ground to aid the fight against COVID-19. With me here in the studio, I have a youth leader, a political analyst, an entrepreneur. Join me to welcome Samuel Egato. Samuel, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Good morning, Wilson, and good morning, viewers.
And we are still expecting the likes of other youth, a youth leader, an entrepreneur, Theodore's Irabo. When he comes in, he will join in the discussion. Don't forget that by 10 o'clock, we will join the Catholic Archdiocese for Sunday Mass for our Catholic faithful. Now, we've seen governors relaxing lockdown. Even the president also haven't given the order to lock down 3 states in Nigeria. He chose to lessen the lockdown. He relaxed it for people to go out there to at least follow the rules and regulations, but as they go about their business, all in the bid to reopen the economy. Churches were excluded, mosques were excluded, traditional gatherings also were excluded. And now here we are having a call by Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria urging the government to relax the lockdown also in churches as long as they are able to follow the rules and regulations governing the fight against COVID-19. Samuel, how do you feel about this call?
Wilson, I think we should not deceive ourselves on this issue. I have to be very, very blunt first before I go deep to them. At this particular time, where even the state has even calling a coffee to reduce the movement of people, even in the night, because some churches were still holding night services or those all night in a mass of people. Okay, there are so many reasons like this. The government have gone into all these situations and now say that wherever there is crowd, we all know that there is always the vulnerability of this COVID-19 spreading. So, opening churches and you claiming you want to follow up the regulations given to you, my dear Wilson, we know Nigerians for what they are. They will always complicate the situations. They will always want to overuse the opportunity. It is in the nature of Nigerians. Then let me go far deeper to them. Any pastor or a reverend or whatever, or a religious person, as it may be, whether as a Christian or as a Muslim, should be first of all be remembered of his own book, which is the Bible and the Quran. I had a scholar here a few weeks ago. I was able to settle down and listen to what he said. I was able to digest what he was saying. He even went as far as to give us verses in the Bible that told you, as even as a pastor, as a followers of God, to respect the authority ordained over you by God, that they are of God, irrespective of whichever way they are. When they make laws, the laws must be respected. So we should not come here to use the way we are in Nigeria, where you criticize Christianity, where you criticize some pastors or some religious leaders in the wrong attitude of the wrong way. People will say, this is a man of God. How you talk like that from a man of God? But a man of God is human. He's obligated to the doctrine of God, which is the Bible. He's obligated to human dogmatism, which is the rule of man, which is the government. So if a government have a reason for saying those places should be closed down, I think what they are trying to do, they are trying to tell us, show us their weakness, that they don't even know the religion as claimed. Because if they go and read their Bible, go to Roman, go to Hebrew, go to Acts, there are several verses there explicitly written that the Christians should respect the ordained government. So you going against it, you're already a sinner before God.
All right, now let's take a look at it from the angle they perceive it from. They give an example of the markets, the way the markets are being run. If you take a look at the footage, if the PD is ready, it shows some marketplaces, even the relocation to primary schools, you get to see how the markets are.
Sorry.
Now, they are saying that they can do better even than the market organization because they are civil, they will know what to do to obey the rules and regulations. Now that is a picture of some marketplaces in Benin, even when the lockdown has been relaxed. Now, can a church
overcrowded?
Don't you think they have
overcrowded?
What they are saying? Yes.
It's overcrowded.
But they are saying that they can do better than what you see right now on the screen.
Listen, let me tell you.
And uphold the rules and regulations.
We should not use the bad to make an excuse. Do you understand? I expect them to send sensitization team from their church to even go to the market, to sensitize the market people, to even create the social distance, not to even want to add their own to it. I'm telling you reason. We cannot use wrong excuse for it. Because I was coming just now, I passed through a market over here. I wanted to record it, but because of the car I was, the glass was dark. So I was not able to get it very well. It was overcrowded.
But they can organize.
Listen, already they are already operating in a different way. There are some churches I even wanted to use a task force to bust in my own area, in GRA area. Why? They are operating on the cell system. House fellowship.
But are they up to 20?
Some of them more than 20. Some of them more than 20. You said you want to do house fellowship. There was a place I was last week. I wanted to even call the police, but because of this same spirit, if you can't go arrest this pastor now, they'll say you go arrest man of God. They'll say harass, go arrest man of God. Before you know it will be spreading as like a bad name. That's why I did not call the police. I saw the cars there alone. And they claim they are not more than 20. I was able to overlook into the compound.
But knowing fully well that we have
it was the same circumstance
crowd in the markets, and of course the churches are of the opinion that since you gave this woman a leeway, the market men and women a leeway, why not give us
what we should be thinking? We should not be thinking that because the market is giving a leeway, or because the task force is not doing their job properly to make sure that the social distance that's supposed to be in the market is taking place, you should not use it as an example to give yourself a positive movement. No. He should be thinking, the PFN should be thinking, how do we even help the task force? How do we help the government to even clear up the situation in the markets? And in some of these churches, so-called self-churches they are creating right now. My belief with them is that they are losing a lot of money in this period.
No, that is the only problem because many of
that's my opinion. They are losing a lot of money. The bulk money they make every Sunday, that bulk money they make every Sunday is no more coming. Now it's a sales system. In the sales system, you cannot control the money that is coming.
Are you saying that it's all about the money?
From my own opinion, on this continual cry for them to open church, they want to open church to come back to the crowd they had before. I feel it is all about the interest of commercial interest. It's the commercial interest there. Because the billions, the millions that are downloading every Sunday is no more downloading. And the living standard of our Oga must be maintained. They have tried to bite it, but it's biting them now. Instead of them using this opportunity every Sunday, go and even share palliative method to people, you are calling they should come and open. Is it not the living that serve God? Take a mistake. You said you want to control it. One or two enters there, and it has it. And it mistakenly, he grades this, he grades it. You know how it is in church. You must greet those you know. Before you know, you might have believed that you have sat down there, I have sat down here. That's why you came, we did not shake because we're already trying to create a social distance. That we still came, we sat distantly. But in the church, we know it is, the mindset is created that it is not even existing, the coronavirus.
Not in all churches.
Some believe. You hear them now. We have videos about some churches that claim it's not exist, while some churches believe they can heal it.
We are coming to that. We're coming to
So-
about the context of
on that basic
leaders
mindset
and
already,
activists.
there's
Yeah.
a belief that when the crowd comes together, there will be more contact, even worse than the market we are talking.
Now, what if they choose to take the children out of the picture, let the adults that have this awareness of coronavirus come together to worship, having the mindset of social distancing and, of course, wearing a face mask? Don't you think that would be enough?
Listen, like in Brazil last week, there was a general prayer against the coronavirus. Brazil has churches as well as Nigeria have churches. The churches were closed, but they went to the street, sitting down on the ground with distance the way we are now, and the whole street was filled up with almost about thousands of people. But with the social distance respect rules, they were praying for the nation. They did not say, let us go into the church. It's an enclave.
I feel that Nigerians cannot maintain social distance inside the church.
My brother.
It's like you're thinking so little of Nigerians.
No, I'm telling you the problem we have. We have this problem, this mentality. You can't take it from us. That nothing will happen. It is not my portion. Whose portion if it's not your portion? It is our mentality. There are many times, sometimes people come to my business place. I don't understand. Despite they have washed their hand, they have sanitized their hand, but they want to give me their hand. I will tell them, sorry. Sometimes I have my own extra again. I think he has used the one outside though. Because he gave me pim. I will carry again.
Sanitizers.
I
And you
take my
think they
distance.
can't do it in churches?
They could have been able to handle it. But when the crowd, it is about the quantity of the people. Like now we'll be talking about 5 or 10 people. It's a different issue.
Also, now, I understand that if they should increase the number to 50, that would not all go well.
Well,
in the
if they
fight
said
against
50,
coronavirus.
let me tell you, if they said 50 in those large, spaced church, we can understand. But the problem you don't know, listen, in one upstairs, we have 20 churches. In one street, we have roughly about 30 churches or 40 churches. These movements automatically interclash with each other. Maybe you have not realized it. When you're driving down this Uselu Road, you know there's about 3 churches very close to each other, large ones.
Yeah.
You see the movement, the vehicular movement and the personal movement of people on the walkway. It is interclashes. There's no way you can keep such social distance. Because when this church is open, this one is open, this one member is going there 50, this one member is going there 50, this one member is going there 20. They are all going to pass through the same place. How do you handle that? Some of them are even going to pass through the same step because the churches are in upstairs.
Yeah, the staircase.
And now they are coming and going. This in terms of where's the social distance there? There are so many things we need to think. We could understand the apply, but I am still advising them. They should think what to do for their people with these Sundays that they are closed down, that can help their stomach infrastructure and to keep them alive.
They are not saying it's about
Listen to me. To keep them,
they are saying that
to keep them alive. Listen to me. To keep Nigeria alive. Nigeria are very spiritual on their own. Leave that, listen. Nigerians are spiritual on their own. I believe Nigerians are the best prayer. But the problem is that we pray too much that we forget the reality. Somebody once said it. He said the country that doesn't pray much, they are more progressive than Nigeria that pray more than any other country in the whole world. He said we are 200 million are praying, we are still not progressive, we are still in poverty, we are still in a condition that we cannot control. So let's leave the aspect of spiritual to deceive ourselves. We are very spiritual. We can be spiritual at home. Where 2, 3 people are gathered in my name, I shall be there. So when they are gathered in their home, with their family, with their children, and can be able to raise their hands and praises to God, definitely God will ascend.
Okay, as it stands right now in Nigeria.
But the problem they have now is not the prayer. The problem they have inside the house now, they are dying of hunger. We say.
You are not sure of
Both
that.
of the members, I'm telling you.
Aras, you are not sure.
Let me show you of a story. I can show you of a story. An elderly man. He is a very good Christian. And this woman that sells food, a very good Christian as well. He usually goes there and he gets foods. And I think Tava stage. I don't understand. But this period, because of the coronavirus, the woman, which is a good woman, that usually give free food, started giving foods for credit. Before she knew, the shop was already falling under the influence of the lockdown corona situation because he had sympathy because of his mind, his good mind. This old man now came and same day. He told this old man, I cannot give you today, sorry. I don't sell plenty today for credit. These same Christians that comes there to eat, they were passing this old man sitting in front of the shop. No one asked, why are you sitting there in the front of this place? He was hungry. That's why he was not able to live anymore. He was weak. Maybe he fought himself out of his house to get to that food place. Unfortunately for the whole story, let me cut it short, we say. The man was thought he was sleeping in front of the restaurant. By the time somebody that was really not having a good heart now asked the madam, why is that man sleeping there? Madam said he wanted food for credit. He not get money and he don't set too much credit today. Okay, what if you want buy? It's roughly about 2,000. Okay, take 2,000. Give him what he want. By the time he got there, the man is dead already. He was not sleeping. Then, you tell me that that man did not pray?
Okay.
Do you tell me that man is not a Christian?
All right.
Or is not a believer? Okay. Or that woman that did not say to him, you will not call that woman a bad person? The woman was suffering from the circumstance of the lockdown. She used to be a good woman. He used to give it free. But he turned it to a credit level, hoping he will get his money one day. But in the process, somebody have died of hunger. So there are many cases we are not aware of, that we have not taken record of.
Okay, now you just hold on. I'll come back to you shortly. As it stands right now in Nigeria, the samples tested 23,835. Yeah, that is from the NCDC side. For the confirmed cases, we have 4,151. For the active cases, we have 3,278. The discharge cases, we have 745. Why, sadly, for the death rate is just 128. And on the 9th of May 2020, they recorded 239 new confirmed cases and 11 deaths were also confirmed and recorded in Nigeria. Now, out of those cases, we have Lagos having 97 positive corona confirmed cases, and Bauchi 44, Kano 29, Katsina 19, Borno 17, FCT 7, Kwara 6, Oyo 5, Kaduna 3, Sokoto 3, Adamawa 2, Kebbi 2, Plateau 2, Ogun 2, and of course Ekiti 1. The numbers are still rising, and I wonder why that is. Some people are like saying that it's due to the increased number of tests carried out in the country. Now, the numbers are increasing. Was it 2 or 3 or a month ago, you get to hear someone saying that these religious leaders should go out there and practice what they preach, the prayers of healing the sick. That be given the permission to go into the isolation center to at least ask God to heal the sick, the ones plagued by or with coronavirus. How do you feel about that? Should the NCDC oblige these pastors with the gift of healing to go out there to do what they know to do best?
Wilson, I think Nigerians got to do things in Nigerian way. And if we have to do things in the Nigerian way, we should start thinking in our inward way of doing things. First and foremost, we should think of about our hybrid drugs. There are so many people that have been able to tell us that they have drugs that can take care of these people. But I wonder why our government is still wasting enough time to experiment on those things and to fast track it so that we can start using them immediately, like Madagascar, Tanzania, and other African countries that are progressing in their hybrid medicine.
So you don't believe in prayers?
Side. Two, the aspect of the prayer, they're claiming they are not being allowed to go in there and pray for the coronavirus. Listen, there are two ways they can do it if they have the healing power. Because I remember some of them will tell you that they can hit through the television. That when you have faith, that they will heal you. That people are giving testimony from that. So why don't you send one of your ushers or whatever, send the PPE there, this thing there, video, tell them, and you preach through the video upon them, and send the healing upon them if really you have the healing power. If you want to go further, you can buy a PPE. There's nobody that will deny you from entering the isolation center when you're on a PPE. So if you believe you have the Spirit, or is it if he's putting on the PPE, he will not be able to extract the power upon the people? What is it?
All right.
You understand what I mean?
Okay.
All you need to do is guard your very well. Close up your fucking everything. Sorry for that language.
Watch your language.
Sorry.
Right now, hold on. We want to go for a break. When we return, we'll continue with this same discussion. Let's get to hear from another guest that will join us right now in the studio. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. Well, like I said before, expecting Theodore's Irabo. He's here with us in the studio. He's a vibrant youth and entrepreneur, and of course a political analyst. Theodore, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Thank you very much, Wisin. I'm sorry for coming late.
Okay, it's okay. I believe that somewhere along the line you heard Araz sharing his own views and of course opinions about the suggestion or the proposal by the PFN Edo State chapter for churches to be given the permission to reopen that are going to follow the rules and regulations governing the fight against COVID-19. Now, Araz was like of a different opinion, saying that shouldn't happen. He gives so many examples that if it should happen, that means we are there trying to make the virus spread faster. He gave an example of churches and streets, people interconnecting, staircase and all that, giving strong points. Do you have a divergent view from his own opinion?
I think I'll go with his opinion. The truth of the matter is that you have to be alive to worship God. God is everywhere. God is in us. He's not just in the building, but he's at everywhere. He said, where two or three are gathered, he's there in their midst. You don't have to be in church to do that. But at the same time, I know being religious, a lot of people will see the other way. But the truth of the matter is that coronavirus is here. And if we together we can fight to overcome it. Opening church at this moment, I don't think is okay at all. Because I saw statistics of people that have died in the UK. Over 31,000 people died in the UK so far. Thank God we are still, the total number in Nigeria is not up to 4,000 yet. We shouldn't escalate this. We should just be patient, pray to God in our homes, and before you know, these things are gone. The truth of the matter is that even the churches, they've not lived to expectation this period because they preach so much on giving. The churches talk on giving, what we should do and all that. But on this particular issue, I don't think the churches have done the needful. The churches right now, they said, whosoever giveth to the poor, lendeth to God. And I think that's what the churches should have hammered on. Evangelism today is giving somebody food. If you give me food today, you give me clothes. The truth of the matter is that you don't need to preach Christ to me. I will just follow suit. The people need the church more than ever before. It's not in the building. Thank God for my church, Winners. We have Domi Radio.
No,
so if you have that, no, sorry about that.
Yeah.
What I mean is that most churches became a trending thing for you to be online, have your radio station, broadcast online. What have happened to that? Let's keep doing that, except there is other hidden agenda. Because the truth of the matter is that let's do what will keep us alive.
Okay.
That is what I say about it.
All right. Now, if you take a look at your screen, the record that I just stayed there, samples tested, confirmed cases, active cases, discharge cases, and of course, death cases. Now, they have the opinion of that churches should remain closed. If you must have a little fellowship, it must not be more than 20. But for what Interstate chapter PFN is talking about, that they can follow the rules and regulations governing the fight against COVID-19. They will have their sanitizers, their hand washing mechanism will be on the ground. They're going to maintain social distance, and they're going to, in addition to it, put on face masks just to make sure that COVID-19 doesn't spread in the church. If they are allowed to come back to fellowship, they're going to regulate everything. They gave an example of the market, and you saw the clip of the market, how the markets places are. No social distance, no face masks, and all that. They claim that they can do better. Well, let's leave it for the government of the day to decide. My guests in the studio, they are not of that mentality, of that mindset. Okay, now let's talk about what is going on in our borders. The effectiveness of the interstate lockdown. On our news this morning, you get to see police in Auchi intercepting truckload of persons. Some say they are Amajiris. Even Abia, they have their own case also. In Rivers, you just name it. In Delta, in Edo, you get to hear about Abuja. All this. Abuja here, it's like no one is really obeying this interstate lockdown. How effective and efficient is this interstate lockdown in the fight against COVID-19? Theodore, I want to start off from you.
I think the interstate lockdown has become an avenue for security men to make money. That's the truth of the matter. On Sunday last week, I went to Abuja and I came back on Wednesday.
You went to Abuja?
Yes.
And you just violated the interstate travel?
No, it's not interstate. I went, because of this whole thing, that's why I followed them. It was actually a top police officer that had a meeting with the IG. So when they were going, I said, I want to tag along. I want to see how this route is like.
Okay.
On getting there, I saw that at each border, you see a lot of vehicle parked. Then the passengers, they will leave to go and discuss with the security personnel. I didn't see any person that was turned back. That's the truth of the matter. I think the government have to do more. The government have a lot of role to play in ensuring this interstate lockdown is adhered to strictly. Because if the borders are still porous like this, and you see a lot of, when we're coming back, we saw a lot of these trucks. You see a lot of young people, they jump into it, they'll be behind the truck, they'll be at the truck of the vehicle while they move. You just see them along the road, they are stopping this truck, the trucks are stopping, they are picking them up. So, but luckily, when we were towards Okmila, I saw that, okay, there was screening at that point. You see a lot of the passengers there, they'll come out. I saw them using these are thermometer to check their temperature and all that before they will enter the truck again. I don't think it has been effective, and I think the government have to do more in ensuring that people from COVID-19 prone environment are restricted from going to other places. I think if we contain it in different states, I think the battle will be easy, because at least you can trace any person in your state. But when the stranger comes in, that's another index case that you don't even know anything about. So from there, the spread will continue at that point.
Oh, all right. Now, if you take a look at the clip, thanks, Peter. I really appreciate what you're doing right now. If you take a look at the clip, you get to hear the driver say, I don't know these people. I don't know how they got into the truck. How do you feel about the reaction by the driver?
Listen, with all sense of humor,
Yeah.
you should know that this man is lying. He's
He said he doesn't know.
He's trying to deny the liability. I understand the responsibility that is going to put upon him by the law. That's the reason he's telling you he doesn't know these people. Let me tell you, brother, you cannot carry 500 people inside your trucks, and you are driving their trucks. I say you don't know the people you are carrying in your trucks. Is it not people that gave them to you? Is it not people that assigned you to take them to the whatever
and
destination
they are
you are
among
going?
livestock.
Then yes, among some of them hiding in bag of rice with everything. Listen. The truth of the matter, for a truck loaded with 500 people to pass through from Katsina State, roughly about 4 states borders, and get it to Jatu, Edo State, you should ask a question. There is something wrong somewhere. Because at this present situation that we know that in the north, The cases are increasing because they neglected the rules and regulations the government gave to them. It is not, they are not pumping up their mechanism to try to meet up with the situation. They ignored it. They were even having football games, having all those things in sight of lockdowns. So now it has exploded. Some of these people, they are even bringing down. I'm even afraid. We should be more careful because you don't know which of them are prone with the COVID-19. They don't know which of them are already infected, that are not yet showing symptoms. So now they pack these people into the South, and before we know, we have a lot of things in our hand to solve. The problem we have is that what happened in the first border? How did they cross there? What happened in the second border? How did they cross it? What happened in the third border? How did they cross it before they got to Edo State border? They even already have crossed the Edo State border. It was in Jatu, inside this Aoji, that they were hot by task force, out of suspicion, by some good task force workers. If not, those 500 people will find themselves inside Edo land. And thank God, we don't know. We pray not, because they have been returned back as ahead to Kogi border. So, if those ones has gone in, my brother, we might have a case in hand. Look at the situation in River. Look at the situation in Abuja. Before those people got to Abuja, this attack stopped a truck. He has to explain to the pressmen. They should ask the policemen. They ask the security force. If really they knew the reason they are in the border. Because as I said, Nigeria have our own mentality of corruption. As at present, the security forces at the border are making good.
Okay, we will come back to that now. Talking about the allocation.
A lot. So people are paying 10,000, 15,000 from here to Lagos. That is just 2,000 plus.
Okay. Now, take a look at the case of Rivers. You just mentioned Rivers. Governor Wike was the first to cry out on dailies and, of course, on electronic media that the security personnel are not helping issues. But it was still the security personnel that caught the people we are talking about. So how can you really, they're all security personnel, so how can you really weigh these options? He's the one blaming them that they're the ones responsible for the spread or the breakdown of the rules and regulations governing interstate travel. Take it up from there.
The truth of the matter is that I don't think there's any person that has been returned back on his trip to any place across the country. As long as you have your money, you can buy your way. You can buy your way through. The truth of the matter is that just look at what is happening. Almost all the transport services are working again. The only difference is that you have to pay more. For a trip that you normally go for 2,000 is now 5,000. Even Delta State. Delta State that imposed curfew, blocked everywhere. People still came as at the point where Delta State closed their border. They didn't have any single case. But something still happened. People collected money, some persons enter, and their case started. Even Bayelsa, the same thing. Yeah. That shows something is wrong somewhere. Because for a country that you don't have sincerity of purpose by any person that is put in place of authority, that's what you get. People want to eat. The government are not living up to their expectation. A top police officer will be paid 40,000 naira a month to take care of his family. What do you expect? They said a hungry man is an angry man. The man or the young man will need to survive. So that's why you see them cutting corners to ensure they get their own. You can't put somebody at the border that have not eaten, that is not being paid well, and you expect him to do the best thing, to do the right thing. So that's why we need to first. There's a lot of things that is wrong with the country. You can't give a hungry man arm to carry and you expect him to be reasonable in his approach. We must first of all review the salary of the people that are given mandate to secure life and property. The people that are well armed to ensure that people respect law and order must first of all be dignified. How many persons today will you ask to come and join the police and they will be excited? The truth of the matter is that nobody will be excited to join them because these people are underpaid. I think it's a slave job. where a man will hold.
No. We have an opinion.
Yes, let me
to serve and protect.
Yes, if you are serving and protecting, for example, I'm sleeping in my house. A mobile man stands at my door while I'm sleeping with my family. The next morning he goes home, he quickly freshens up and he comes back to that. And at the end of the day, that man is not paid well. What do you expect from that man? Would you get the best out of him? The answer is no. You can't get the best out of them. So the truth of the matter is that the government should do more for the security agents. If you want the best, give the best. You can't expect miracle from people that are suffering. These things will always happen. So I'm actually advocating for increase in their salary and better welfare as we fight this cause together.
Right now, he's blaming the government of the day, saying that if we want the best, they should give the best. Is it the fault of the government? Knowing fully well that we are all in this together, fighting the scourge of COVID-19?
In some aspect, I agree with him. In the aspect of, if you look at what he did with the doctors, the front line, as they are called, front line health workers that are fighting this COVID-19, they have been given special packages, as I can understand, from the state government, from the federal government, and just to encourage them in this fight with COVID-19. I think, like the security forces as well, are also in the front line of this issue, to make sure there's no breakdown of the rule of law, on one hand, to make sure that the lockdown really takes place, to make sure that all the rules and regulations given by the federal government to be upheld by the citizen. So they are also a frontline workers. And they are also coming in contact with people that might be possibly also coronavirus positive due to their jobs. You understand? So I think they deserve, maybe in this period of situation, to a special welfare. But that is not a yardstick for them to be extorting the citizen in the interest and to the dangerous situation of the nation. Because you are endangering the nation in the sense that you are collecting money and allow people to pass through that border. You can also be a victim. Your mother could also be a victim because you have allowed that man to come in. You might think he cannot have a contact. Those outside men, they go to market. They can meet your mother in the market too, and you're already in problem. That money you collected in the gate of entrance will not be enough to take care of that sick mother. It is time we should start thinking, not just what I want to have now. It's about let's do the right thing. Look at the situation with the coffee. Do you know many police are getting richer daily due to this coffee? Because people still move in the night. Or when they get there, they collect their own, you pass. You get there, they collect their own, you go. But to whose detriment? To we all is the detriment, that greed. What I love, which I have experienced, a friend of mine, he left my office very late. I told him, come and be moving. He said, Baba, nothing there happen. Good, nothing there happen. It's our Nigerian mentality way of thinking. As he was going, he met police at the first point of check. He settled. Pew. He was unlucky, not knowing they were soldiers in furthermore from. When he got to the soldier now, they said, no movement. You are not going anywhere. They seized his car, key. They told him, sit down there. He started calling me now because he saw some of the soldiers, they are my friends. You understand? He saw that they were my friends because they usually come to my office too. So he was not calling me that, see, your soldier boys, they just hold me here. I said, we're there for what you said there. I said, okay, anyone will free talk to me. Nigerian mentality don't start there. And I now spoke with the soldier man. He told me, he said, they are not going to do anything with him. They are going to make him to respect the rules and regulation. That he's going to sit down there from that 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the morning. Then he will give him this car key. He can't go home.
All right, now.
So if you not sit down outside, throughout the day, mosquito chop you well.
Okay.
You go respect the law tomorrow.
All right.
But if you pay your way and go through, you will not respect the law.
Okay, now,
I just try to make you understand the difference
Understand.
of implementing the rules,
rules.
and breaking the rules.
okay, fine. Now, thank you for
So I did not tell him to release the guy. I told him,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, our reporter, Rosemary Warame, went out town to go interview some of these transport organizations to ask them about how business is faring. They are saying business isn't good because of the interstate lockdown. Now, while you were busy analyzing, you talked about these transporters making huge amounts of money because of the increment in transportation fare from one state to the other. How can you relate to that report and what you're saying right now? They are saying they can't move.
And the truth of
So
the matter,
how are they now traveling? Through what means?
the truth of the matter is that it's not business as usual. I really feel for them. That's a huge business that have been grounded because of interstate travel. That's the truth of the matter. But you know how it is. There must be bad egg inside them. Some of them have actually respected the fact that, okay, the government said no movement, and they are adhering to that. But others didn't adhere to that. There are some that I see doing it at the back, and they are still moving passengers up and down. The truth is that it's not everybody that had trip normally that can still go. Ideally, I shouldn't be in Edo State at the moment because my business is in Abuja. I should be in Abuja. But because of the fact I wouldn't want to go through that stress of begging people and all that.
Paying excessive.
Though Abuja is open right now, you can actually go and do your business. But how do you get there? Stressing yourself, begging people. Not that you can't get your way. It's Nigeria, but at times you just need to respect. You need to respect the law while you do other things. Because even in the Bible, there was a point where people came to Jesus Christ. They said, "You said you were the king." He said, "Yes." They said, "Why has Caesar said we should pay tax? Since you are the king, can the king pay tax to another king?" Jesus Christ said, "No." He brought out a coin. He said, "Go and dip your hook in the river." They brought out the fish and they brought out a coin. He said, "Whose inscription is in this coin?" They said, "It's the inscription of Caesar." He said, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar, and give unto God what is God." That was the promise. He didn't want to break the law. Obviously, Jesus is king, but at the same time, there are kings in the land. The government is also king. So he gave Caesar what belonged to Caesar, and also he retained his kingship. So at times you have to balance equation, not because you want to exercise right or you want to, but just obey the law of the land. Because even God, even Jesus obeyed the law of the land. So you cannot, that also takes us back to the issue of the church. You cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. If for the past 3 months, the churches in Rome, the churches across Italy have been shut down, how many months have we closed our arm? Barely a month, going to 2 months. So we can't be more Catholic than the Pope. So let's just relax, pray to God in our houses, let them do more of live broadcasts, show us their service while we fellowship with them. Through internet, there is radio, there is churches, this is also radio station, there are TV stations. There are a lot of means where we can still praise God, where we can still follow up with service. Okay. So that at the end of the day, we'll all come out of this coronavirus lockdown alive together. Okay, now with all we've said right now, do you think that we've made a huge mistake by relaxing the lockdown? We have 4,151 confirmed cases, 3,272 active cases, 745 discharge cases, and of course, 128 deaths. Did we make a serious mistake?
Listen, I don't think we made a mistake. We have seen it in most cases, that a total lockdown has not been fully effective with the countries that tried it. Instead, it was even exploding. The death rate was even increasing because many were even dying in their houses. You understand me? So there are some certain things we should really be thinking in human senses. The partial lockdown, I think, is a very good way. But right now, nobody is following the rules. No, not nobody. Many presidents are not following the rules. And listen, you have the nature of Nigerians. That's what I always tell you. The Nigerian thing is always different. And with the nature of Nigeria, we should even be happy. We have not had cases like 1,500,000 because the nature of the way we live like what I just said just now was coming, if you look at that market alone, which was over 200 people, and for example, those people really are infected. The way we live our life with families, interclose with families, you would have already been receiving like in America and other places.
The count will be increasing.
Yes, but I still believe Nigeria is still in a good hand with the process we have handled it so far. The only thing we are begging are those that to implement these rules and regulations should be a little bit more stiff, but not harsh. When we mean stiff, make sure the law is implemented, but don't offend the human rights of the person. Don't break the rule by implementing the rules. That's what we need to encourage the government to do more about that. The task force, each and every one of them, both those, the private sectors that are helping them, the civil society group, they should do more. The churches, it's a wake-up call to them, and I'm going to repeat again and tell them, many of their followers are hungry at home. They should get palliatives to them and not calling them out to send them to early grave. Because when they are coming out, you don't know what is their fate.
All right.
We know they have also promised they can heal. Yes, you can heal through the television, as you claimed before. Try now and practice it.
Okay. Well, Theodos, with this number, did we make a huge mistake by relaxing lockdown? Because part of saying that this is a huge mistake, especially from the health sector.
I think from the last time before the relaxed lockdown, I was on air, and we did a couple of analysis. Now, Edo State, for example, before the lockdown, we only had one case. By the time they were opening up, we had over 35 cases. So far from 35, they've eased up the lockdown. How many cases does Edo have
67 right now in Edo State.
Which is almost the same thing. From 1 to 35, now to
67.
So I think it's the same thing, actually. The truth of the matter is that we should not even look at these cases. Nigeria at the moment, we don't have effective test kits. That's the problem. Not that these are the actual figure. A lot of persons have it. If you look at the total number of tests they've conducted and the number of affected cases,
23,835 total number of samples tested.
You see that is over 20%.
Please repeat.
Over
23,835 samples tested.
Nationwide.
And that's over
23,000.
That's over.
But I remember our Edo State government said you have tested 50,000 people.
No, that's not true.
So how come the whole nation is only having 28?
All right, now let's just.
I was expecting about 100,000. If Edo was able to test 50,000,
okay,
and sorry, brother.
Hold on. He has the floor. We'll come to you to that. So please continue.
So the truth of the matter, you see that is over 20% infection rate, which is about the highest in the world. But we will not also generalize like that, because the truth of the matter is that it's only contact people that are tested right now. Nobody have tested you, nobody have tested me, because maybe you are not a contact to an index case. But the truth of it is that I don't think we've made mistake. Businesses were suffering, economy was being grounded. This is the lowest point in Nigeria, in the history of Nigeria, where oil is even hanging on the sea. Nobody is buying it. No money is coming in. But at the same time, the government have not done the needful. We've sold oil for over 65 years. We couldn't feed the nation for just 1 month. For the first time, the citizens actually needed the government also fed the citizens. Be that as it may, Abacha our Father Christmas just released another money to us. And the truth of the matter is that this money will not still be used judiciously. The money Abacha just released $311 million, which is about 700 and something billion naira, is enough to build hospital around each state. 1 billion per state. You have a good hospital that can accommodate people. But the truth of the matter, the government will always be who they are. They will never do the right thing. That money is enough.
You said they won't do the right thing. That statement is subjective. You will say they will.
It's not subjective.
You say that they will not.
They will never. It's not that they will not. They will never. Look at everybody. There was money donated by EU. Have you gotten any money? The answer is no.
Thank you.
Go to America, go to UK, go to Canada.
Italia.
You can see that they are paying their citizens. That are not even Nigeria. My cousin is studying in Ireland. As a student, he's being paid. The money he has received so far is half of the salary he paid to go there. That is a country, not a country that will always extort the citizens.
Okay, our time is up. We're going to use 1 minute each to summarize, because by 10 o'clock we'll join the Catholic Archdiocese for the Sunday Mass. What advice do you have for Nigerians, those citizens, and of course, all of us here in the studio in the fight against COVID-19 with respect to the topics being spoken about?
Well, so far so good. I will plead with the PFN, the pastors, the reverends, and them all to have a little patience with the government, to have a little patience with our health sector that are fighting this COVID-19, to keep their members safe and alive, because it's those that are alive that can serve God. That is on one aspect. On the aspect of the lockdown, we'll still use the opportunity to plead with the security forces to handle the issue.
Thank you.
More strict.
Thank you so much. 30 seconds, 30 seconds, call it a wrap.
I want to beg the churches to live up to expectation at this moment. You receive tithe for so long, you receive offerings for so long. This is the time to give back to the people.
Thank you.
You can't preach. Practice what you preach. When you show love, people will come to Christ naturally.
Thank you.
Because the Bible said, I was sick, you gave me clothes. I was hungry, you gave me food.
Thank you.
I was without clothes and you gave me clothes.
This
is the time to practice Christianity.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate your wonderful analysis. Well, you've heard them. You have to follow the rules and regulations governing the fight against COVID-19. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Bye for now.